there is gallium at Monte Muambe. So the most interesting results so far are in two drill holes, MM039 and MM040. In MM039, we have 77 grams per ton of gallium from zero, from the surface, down to 100 meters all the way. So it's pretty much continuous along the whole length of the hole. And within this intercept, we have about 15 meters at 141 grams per ton of gallium. And this is very interesting because by gallium standards, anything above 100 grams per ton is considered as high grade.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV. Today I am happy to be joined by Cédric Simonet, Chief Executive Officer at Altona Rare Earths. So Cédric, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Hello.
And maybe you could just start with a quick introduction to Altona Rare Earths and some of the core projects that you're focused on.
Yes, so Altona Rare Earths is an exploration company. We are listed on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. We are specialized in critical minerals, focused on Africa. Our ticker is REE, and we have several ongoing projects. So the first one is the Sesana copper and silver project in Botswana, which is located in a very prospective ground in the Kalahari copper belt. Then we have the Monte Muambe rare earth project, which is located in Mozambique, which has a maiden JORC resource estimate of 13.6 million tons at 2.42% total rare earth oxide, and for which we have just obtained our mining concession, valid until 2049. So that was a very positive progress. And then the last project, also located at Monte Muambe, but separate from the rare earths. We also have high-grade fluorspar deposits at Monte Muambe, and we are currently assessing how we could take this fluorspar deposit into production as soon as possible.
Okay, sounds great. And so looking at the Monte Muambe project, last week you provided an update following the discovery of some high-grade gallium intercepts there. So can you talk in more detail about this discovery and some of the specific results of that drilling?
Yes, so this is very exciting. Gallium is a very important strategic mineral. The global production and consumption of gallium is relatively small. It's just a few hundred tons per year for the whole planet. But this production is highly concentrated in China, 98% of it. Gallium is normally obtained as a byproduct of bauxite production and to a lesser extent as a byproduct of zinc production together with germanium. But recently there has been some reports of gallium occurrences in carbonatites associated with rare earths. These reports emerged over the past few months. And we decided to check also if there is gallium at Monte Muambe, and there is gallium at Monte Muambe. So the most interesting results so far are in two drill holes, MM039 and MM040. In MM039, we have 77 grams per ton of gallium from zero, from the surface, down to 100 meters all the way. So it's pretty much continuous along the whole length of the hole. And within this intercept, we have about 15 meters at 141 grams per ton of gallium. And this is very interesting because by gallium standards, anything above 100 grams per ton is considered as high grade. So we still need to understand the distribution of this mineral in the whole Monte Muambe carbonatite system, but this is very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds quite exciting for the company. What do you expect that the impact this will have on both the Monte Muambe project moving forward, and the company? What are some of your next steps?
So we are still reviewing the data and we are planning to do more work, but I can see three different angles for the gallium impact on the project. The first thing is that looking at geochemical data, we can see in these two holes, there is a very clear correlation between gallium and neodymium and praseodymium, which are two of the main rare earths at Monte Muambe. And this suggests that the gallium is present in one of the rare earth minerals. This is very interesting because that means that once we do the flotation process to recover a rare earth concentrate, the gallium is going to report in this concentrate. So potentially it's recoverable easily as a byproduct, and it will be a credit to the sales of rare earth concentrates. The second thing is that after we did this review, we started to review also our soil sampling database, which includes gallium assays. And we realized there are 3 large gallium soil anomalies at Monte Muambe. And interestingly, these are not located exactly in the same place as the main rare earth ore bodies, so they have never been explored. And this is very exciting because we don't know yet what these gallium anomalies will reveal, and potentially we could find much higher grades than a few hundred grams per ton. Yeah. The last point is that from the observations we have so far, it seems that these gallium anomalies are somehow connected also to the high-grade fluorspar zones. So there's also a possibility that gallium will act as a pathfinder for more high-grade fluorspar. As you know, we are looking at developing a potential fluorspar mine, so that could give us a path to increasing the potential resources for the fluorspar project.
Okay, sounds great. And so Altona, you operate in both Botswana and Mozambique. Can you talk a little bit about what investors and potentially other companies should know before getting involved in, companies or projects in both of these countries?
Yes, so Botswana is considered as one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world, actually. If you look at the Fraser Institute survey of mining companies, the last one available, you will see that Botswana is ranked as the highest jurisdiction in Africa. What is quite interesting is that the government is trying to expand its mining industry from the traditional diamond industry into precious and base metals. So they are very supportive of projects like ours. And additionally, the Kalahari Copper Belt is a very hot emerging copper province in Africa. We are located just a few kilometers from the MMG Kwemakao Zone 5 underground mine and very close to the Kiplania East project, on which BHP has just done a deal with Cobre for a joint venture. So Botswana is definitely a very good mining jurisdiction. Mozambique is maybe not so much on the radar of investors as a mining jurisdiction, but actually it is. It has a very recent mining law from 2014. We are located in the Tete province near the border with Malawi. It's a very safe and mature mining region of Eastern Africa. Near where we are, there are 3 large coal mines. There is a large iron and steel project, so we have access to equipment suppliers, service suppliers. We have access to the Karorabasa green energy from the hydropower plants. We also have access to 2 different railway line options to the ports of Nakala and to the port of Beira. So definitely an excellent region of Southern Africa to have a mining project.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that the focus on critical minerals is certainly growing across Africa as kind of a key focus. So looking at critical minerals overall, they've been a big focus in the news lately with the new US tariff announcements and China's response by halting rare earth exports. So, how does this impact your work in the rare earth space? And how do you think this is going to impact the markets overall moving forward?
So actually, export restrictions started with gallium before rare earths in December last year, and that caused a spike in the gallium prices. And then more recently, China started to ban exports to the US of 7 rare earths, not all of them, but 7 of them. And these rare earths include dysprosium and terbium, which at Monte Muambe, after neodymium and praseodymium, terbium and dysprosium are the 2 most important value drivers for the project. So it does impact us in a positive way. We have seen a renewed interest from potential strategic investors, both from Western markets and non-Western markets from China. So this is very useful. And also having all this information about strategic minerals, about gallium, about rare earths in the press, in the news, that has also created a renewed interest from the general investment community, which is very positive for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to have so much focus on your kind of key metal. And so finally, are there any near-term milestones that we should be on the lookout for from Altona Rare Earths in the coming months?
Yes, so we have a lot going on, so there will be a lot of news. With respect to the Sesana copper silver project, we are currently in the environmental permitting phase. We recently had very successful stakeholders consultation meetings. We are now in the permitting phase for the airborne magnetometer survey. In the Kalahari copper belt, the substratum is covered by a layer of sand. So geophysics is very important in order to define the best possible drilling targets. So after we do the high resolution airborne magnetometer survey, we will do some ground geophysics, and I expect by the end of this year, we will have drilling targets. At Monte Muambe, we are going to focus a lot our attention on the gallium. We currently have mineralogical testing on the samples, the metallurgical samples, which are with SGS lake fields in Canada, to find out, to confirm if the gallium follows the rare earths into the concentrate, which would make it very easy to produce as a byproduct. I'm expecting some result on this within the next few weeks. And then we are sending this week a team in the field to start doing follow-up work on the gallium anomalies, to do some ground proofing, to do some infill soil sampling, and then to narrow down on areas on which we will do trenches, followed later by drilling. So a lot of very exciting time. And then with respect to the rare earth project, we are still looking for a strategic investor. And we have, as I said, seen a renewed interest in this matter. We currently have different actions in place. We have just hired a consultancy cabinet in Germany called DGWA to give us some support in identifying possible strategic investors on the European markets. But we are also looking towards the east in China. We recently had a field visit from a possibly interested party, and we expect to have follow-up meetings in May. So very exciting times for us.
Absolutely. It definitely sounds like we'll definitely have to be catching up in the next couple of months to hear more about how all of the projects are progressing. So those were all the questions that I had for you today, Cédric. So I want to thank you for joining us here on the Assay TV.
Thank you, Amy.